On the floor, starting for Northwestern, is Kayla Rainey, Sydney Wood, Kaylee Walsh, Paige Mott, and Jasmine McWilliams. And for the visiting Indiana Hoosiers, it's Yarden Garzon, Chloe Moore McNeil, Sydney Parrish, Grace Berger, and Mackenzie Holmes. Your officials today, Felicia Grinter, Michael McConnell, and Mark Resch. And in the center to take the tip, it's Paige Mott and Mackenzie Holmes. Mott wins it. Some commotion in the center, but Mott again comes away. She's called for the travel and a turnover early for the Wildcats.
Bit of a worst-case scenario for Northwestern there. You win the jump ball, so Indiana's got the possession arrow, and then immediately turn it over.
Back to Berger. She finds Parrish open for three. No good. Mackenzie Holmes going for the board, but Paige Mott wins that one, and Kayla Rainey will bring it up for the Wildcats.
2 players sent at Holmes early on the glass, going to be a key for Northwestern all game.
McWilliams, stolen away by Parrish. Here comes Indiana. Parrish moving quickly in transition, will take it up herself. Goes down. 66.7% free throw shooter.
Been very good at getting in the paint and getting in the line.
Gets the second as well. 2-0 lead for the Hoosiers. Rainey with the inbound finds Walsh. She'll go for the jumper. Bounces off the rim. Rebound for Parrish.
Just not a good shot by Kaylee Walsh. Catch and shoot perimeter 2-pointer is not what Northwestern wants.
Didn't quite have her feet set. Bit off the mark, like you said.
And even if she did, I mean, that's just not her shot. She has not been hitting those at a very high rate for really her whole career.
Parrish, 3. Head coach Terry Morin loving these impact transfers. Parrish from Oregon and Scalia from Minnesota, like you mentioned, Noah. Grace Berger with the ball, bringing it up for Indiana. Sydney Wood on her. Right to Garzon at the stripe. Bounces in. She's a 6'3" guard, Noah. Brings some serious size to this Indiana squad in kind of a new way.
Absolutely. It's just something you don't see a lot at the collegiate level. Those high-impact guards with a lot of height.
And there's Kaylee Walsh, this team's leading scorer, putting the Wildcats on the board.
She certainly hasn't flashed quite that level of potential yet this season.
Diamond Miller having a fantastic season. Great pass from Mackenzie Holmes into Moore McNeil, no good. Walsh comes away with the rebound. McWilliams trying to push here for the Wildcats. Wood will feed Mott inside. Backs up and gets up the layup.
Garzon may be 6'3". She's given up a lot of muscle to Paige Mott on the interior. Mott just able to go wherever she wanted.
Garzon for 3. She's got it. The Wildcats averaging 5 blocks a game. That one coming from Brown, very impressive. But a steal from Scalia and Indiana pushing. She's at the arc. Bounce pass into Holmes. Stolen away. Sydney Wood trying to corral it. Loose ball on the ground. Picked up by Garzon. Into Holmes. She's got it.
Great passing from the Hoosiers to work the ball through.
Indiana up 12-4 now. Just about to reach the halfway mark in the first quarter. Kaylee Walsh down low. Finally finding something on offense for the Wildcats. Berger now. Going up for 2. And she's got it. 14 points on the board for Indiana.
The strength that Grace Berger has, it's belied by her frame. She's a really muscular player on the inside, can get to the basket against most defenders with relative ease, and she showed it off that time.
Jillian Brown feeds Kaylee Walsh for 2. Northwestern.
Taking advantage of Meister there. Walsh went after.
Indiana pushing the pace. Grace Berger mid-range. She loves that shot.
Yeah, one of the best mid-range shooters in college basketball today. Berger can make it.
Northwestern looking to cut into this lead as we're about to near the minute mark of the first quarter. Paige Mott gets them to double digits.
Really clutch basket by Mott. Northwestern's defense had been turning on the heat recently, but you got to have that offense come along with it. It's just a tough make from a tough player. Paige Mott, the senior, is having her best year.
That she is. Berger, Garzon bounces off. Last touch was the Wildcats. Possession will stay with the Hoosiers.
And that's not a thing you could say about this Wildcat team when they've played other top teams so far this season. It's a good sign.
Garzon goes up, but foul.
Indiana's played a tougher Big Ten schedule so far than Northwestern has, Allie. Indiana beat an Illinois team that Northwestern just lost to. They just beat a Nebraska team in overtime that has been a really tough out. Their one loss is a surprise loss against Michigan State.
I think that loss to Michigan State just kind of speaks to the landscape of Big Ten women's basketball this year. There are some dark horse candidates.
I mean, the job that Shauna Green is doing over there, National Coach of the Year right now in my book, maybe the best coaching job of the last 10 seasons. It's unbelievable what she's doing.
Such a transformation. Caroline Lau for 2.
That's what Lau can bring. She's explosive in the offense from that point guard position. Runs that pick and roll really well when she can get into the paint.
her assist work so good as well. Great ball handler, great playmaker, as I know Coach McEwen has told us in the past.
Berger wants to hold for one here. Only a 3-second differential between shot and game.
Indiana still up by 6. Milking the clock, like you said, Noah. Moore McNeil into Holmes, and that's Indiana offense right there.
That cross screen freed up Holmes, and a beautiful pass by Moore McNeil.
Heave from Lau. Hits the rim. Not a bad way to end. Northwestern only down by single digits to a really talented Hoosier squad.
High-level basketball, but the way that she's acclimated to this Hoosier team is really, really impressive early in her career.
Yeah, Garzon coming out of Israel for this Indiana squad, an international player. Good defense there from Paige Mott, but she stepped out of bounds, and it'll be Indiana ball on the baseline.
Got a block to go with a rebound and an assist. She contributes a lot more than she takes off the table. It's so important on the interior for Northwestern.
Mackenzie Holmes getting the scoring started here in the second quarter. I like what you said, Noah, about Paige Mott. I think when they can feed her down low, she can be really impactful and make some of those twos that can be a real difference maker in a close contest. Sydney Wood driving, puts it up for 2.
And they need Sydney Wood to take over this second quarter. She was quiet in the first quarter. Made some nice defensive plays, but she needs to be the focal point on both ends of the floor for Northwestern because she has that ability. She's the player who has beaten Indiana before twice in her career. Courtney Shaw has as well, of course, but Wood played a bigger role in those teams. And that veteran leadership is what Northwestern needs to carry them if they want to have a chance.
Wood skips it to Brown. Triple bounces off the rim. Holmes corrals it. Berger bringing up the ball. Berger behind the back. Foul called. She hasn't put up too many shots, 2 for 2 from the field, so she's being quite efficient and selective, but she hasn't missed a beat. You would never know she hasn't played since November 25th. And into Berger there. To Scalia. Driving in. Puts it up. No good, but an offensive board from Holmes and the putback. Mackenzie Holmes, this is her 16th consecutive game reaching 10-plus points. First player today to reach double digits. Northwestern on offense now. Rainey thought about the 3, but they'll call her with the travel.
And if you want to beat good teams like Indiana, solid fundamental teams like Indiana, it just can't happen in these games.
Especially with a team like Northwestern that's really struggling to get shots to fall. The turnovers really plague them on offense when they have some of those good opportunities. Into Holmes. That's the connection. Entering the game for the Wildcats is the first-year Alana Goodchild. Hasn't seen too many minutes, but has come off the bench a couple times. Courtney Shaw, not the strongest free throw shooter. It's something she said she wanted to work on in the off-season, but just at 57.6%. Shaw up and out. Mid-range, Grace Berger. Ball's out. Courtney Shaw corrals it. Northwestern trying to pick up the pace. Kayla Rainey at the top. Brown over to Shaw. 10 seconds on the shot clock now for Northwestern. Goodchild will go for 3, and she drains it. Screen from Meister for Berger. Garzon hands it off to Scalia. Will go in, bounce to Berger, fake, up, and in.
A Grace Berger special. They trail by over 20 points per 100 possessions against top 100 teams without either on the floor. When one of them is on, they lead opponents by 25 points per 100.
Northwestern now with 10 turnovers to Indiana's 5. Moore McNeil into Holmes, goes wild. Foul called on Paige Mott down low. Mott watching that one back on the Jumbotron and not liking what just happened. Nevertheless, an inbound for Indiana. Bargesser, the ball handler. Scalia will go for a triple. Bounces off. Offensive board from Mackenzie Holmes, and she nails it.
The handle that Mackenzie Holmes has, I think, is often underrated. She's talked about a lot as her low post threat, but she can cross people over like she did just there. She can make defenders miss with her dribble, and that helps her so much out of the high post or out of the near side baseline like it did there.
And an and one opportunity for Sydney Wood here. I love the aggression from her under the basket, and then she's been nailing some threes this year and also she can get going from mid-range. I think she brings the most diversity of shot selection among these Northwestern players.
It's not a good sign for Northwestern as a whole that Wood is their second best three-point shooter, given that she didn't even really take them until this season. But the fact that she is a real testament to her game.
Scalia can't get that one, but her team gets another opportunity, and there's Garzon down low. These looks, I mean, credit to Chloe Moore McNeil. Haven't talked about her too much today, but she is averaging over 5 assists per game. 5.1, so not super over, but...
Yeah, I mean, she's just one of the most underrated lead guards in the Big Ten. She has insane court vision. I mean, the ability to see Garzon in the far corner from where she was, cutting in towards the block, and fire that pass on a moment's notice, that is just unreal. That's high-level passing ability.
Another Sydney Wood out to Mott. Screen from Mott. Wood from mid-range. No good. Rebounded by Garzon.
Mott sort of yanked Scalia down there. Indiana bench was loving Scalia's effort on the box out.
Foul.
Led the nation on assisted turnovers last season and was just a hair under 3.0. So 2.2 for a whole team is unbelievable.
And they've got the leader in assisted turnovers in the Big Ten in Chloe Moore McNeil. Berger thinks about it. Instead, hands it off to Garzon. She'll step back for 3.
Give Caroline Lau a block on that one. 5 for the Northwestern guards now.
Garzon over to Moore McNeil. 3 seconds for Indiana. She'll have to feed it into Holmes. She's got it, and that is so impressive.
How many guards are even looking for a pass there? There's 2.5 seconds on the shot clock, and Moore McNeil not only sees Holmes, she gets it to her with enough time for Holmes to fire up a shot. I mean, that is just unreal.
Chloe Moore McNeil, that's up to 3 assists for her today.
Those 3 players, Allie, have combined for 0 turnovers. 10 assists and 0 turnovers. Holmes has a couple, but outside of that, I mean, if you just take the assist to turnover ratio of the guards, it's infinite.
Kayla Rainey misses her first free throw there, and Indiana on a 6-0 run over the last minute and a half. Rainey's second. Indiana with 14 points off turnovers this afternoon. Northwestern, none. Shot clock violations.
Helping them stay at least a little bit in range.
Courtney Shaw over to Wood. She'll go for 3, and she's got it.
She's the only player who's got anything going in this quarter. 6 of Northwestern's 12 second quarter points.
She's leading the Cats with 8, but no Northwestern players in double digits. Grace Berger, Indiana, just a great free throw shooting team across the board now.
Yeah, 76%.
Berger nails them both.
With Jasmine Williams back in, a really interesting thing for a player who now has 6 starts this season. She's averaging 8.5 minutes per game. She very often will start the game, come out about halfway through the first quarter, and never come back in.
Wood feeds Lau. Can't get it to go.
So these late second quarter minutes and potentially some early third quarter minutes should be very interesting.
Berger, mid-range. No, almost an offensive board for Holmes. She's got it. Northwestern swarming her. 3 for Garzon. Bounces off, and she's averaging 20.9 points per game and 7.6 rebounds per game. So she surpassed that rebound mark and almost surpassed that average in scoring in just this first half. So thinking we're going to get a nice Mackenzie Holmes double-double today. Mott will float it up. No good. And a last-second heave from Bargesser, but nothing will go, of course. End of the half, 40-20.
A near All-American last year, honorable mention, and now blossoming in to an All-American level player this season, her senior year. She is a tremendous, tremendous player. And just deserves everything she gets in terms of quality.
Completely over the basket with that triple attempt. Northwestern back to its starting lineup here. Moore McNeil puts up a quick 2, and Indiana already on the board 30 seconds in.
Well, her first 2 of the quarter, and after Mackenzie Holmes outscored Northwestern in the second quarter by herself, 14-12, I think Chloe Moore McNeil has designs on her beating her teammates' feet in the third. Not known for her scoring, but
inside, almost poked away by Garzon. Rainey for 3. Got it.
That rainbow shot from Kayla Rainey. It looks pretty coming out of her hands.
Sydney Parrish going in.
They're on here to watch.
Mott goes up, but will get a foul.
You got to just use your verticality there and force Mott to go over the top of you because it's not easy.
And misses the second as well. Holmes up for the rebound.
Northwestern 2 of 7 from the free throw line. Cannot happen. Just can't happen.
That and the turnovers just really kind of show how Northwestern has not been able to capitalize on these offensive opportunities today.
Yeah, they've just been the more sloppy team, and to be fair, as Berger gets that whistle.
Grace Berger at the line. Hits her first.
5 assists, 2 steals, no turnovers. Man, it just epitomizes the type of player she is.
Second one can't go.
Luckily, Parrish actually, lucky the chairs were there. They sort of stopped her before she went into a more hazardous part of the facility.
There, Northwestern tries to feed Mott low. No good, but McWilliams there, and Mott gets it up in the and one. Some great fight from the junior duo.
They're going to get it every time down, and now that Parrish is out of the game, it's going to be Garzon, and I think Northwestern has got to attack that. Garzon is not big enough to guard Paige Mott underneath consistently.
Mott misses her free throw.
She's 0 for 3 at the line now.
Yeah, 47.8 free throw percentage for Paige Mott. Not her strong suit. More McNeil into Holmes down low.
It's exactly what I was talking about, Allie, right? Indiana doesn't play with 2 posts. Keandra Brown is one of the only true power forwards on this roster.
Another substitution looking like it's just about to happen. Haley Weaver over to the check-in table.
Northwestern attack the interior if they want to have a chance of coming back here.
Mackenzie Holmes checking out, but she did get her 6th double of the season already. 20 points, 10 rebounds on the day so far.
And with that free throw, also her 25th career 20-point game.
Jazz McWilliams, a 3.
That is her first 3 of the season, and only the 2nd of her career for the junior. Not a typical part of her arsenal.
Berger out to Scalia, and a great decision there from Grace Berger, feeding Sarah Scalia. Such a good 3-point shooter. So unselfish from Berger.
Absolutely, and Scalia has had a tough year by her standards shooting the 3, as that's great hands by Brown just off the bench. Wasn't going to continue forever. And when she gets clean looks, you just don't want to give her that kind of airspace.
Scalia down low, a bit too strong for more McNeil, and off Indiana, Northwestern ball.
Down 18 right now, but at some point you have to make a run. That run's got to start soon.
Into Mott, and that's a way to make a run.
But again, for anything to really shift for them in this game, Allie, that offense is going to have to make something happen.
Loose ball. Mackenzie Holmes recovers. Out to Berger. Berger steps back, gives it to Garzon. 3, no good. Caroline Lau hands it off to Haley Weaver. Into Mott. And out to McWilliams. Goes up and in.
This lineup for Northwestern with Lau and Weaver together is the quickest backcourt they have. They can get a lot more going in the semi-transition. And Weaver digging in, got a hand on that ball.
Scalia up. Parrish with the offensive board. A couple players on her, and she draws the foul. Baskets aren't quite falling like they were in the first half for Indiana. So I completely agree, though. A huge play to get Parrish to the line, although missing the first one there. Second shot, good. Indiana has still been so successful, without Grace Berger. They've got a 13-1 record. Their only blemish, Michigan State, a talented Spartan squad in the Big Ten. But Berger has just, not skipped a beat today and really made a difference. Caroline Lau almost with an and one opportunity.
But you think, what could have happened with Berger there? Do they lose that Michigan State game? You can't know for sure. Just Grace Berger brings so much energy to that Indiana offense.
Indiana,
them a lot of chances.
10 of 12.
Yeah. Those 6 points, if this is a 6-point game, it'd have a whole different look right now.
Holmes out to Garzon for a 3 at the top. Rattles out. Mackenzie Holmes fighting for the putback. Won't get it, but will get a trip to the line.
To force that offensive rebound opportunity for Holmes.
Mackenzie Holmes has 7 of those 12 offensive rebounds for Indiana, and she nails her second shot as well.
Northwestern's limited her in this quarter. Just the 4 free throws is all she's had, but she can be so impactful even when she's not scoring the basketball.
Lau to Wood. McWilliams at the top, goes for the 3, and it's good! Jazz McWilliams.
Not only is it the first time McWilliams made 2 threes in a game, it's the first time she's ever made 2 threes in a season. What an afternoon. for the junior.
Coach McEwen has been looking at her more, giving her some spots in that starting lineup, and she's having a good day. Berger up and in, plus the foul.
That's just a senior taking a first year to school right there. Berger got Lau on her hip and then slowed it down, knowing that Lau, an eager defensive player, you can see her grimacing at that play and looking back. Once she gets her on her hip, she knows she's going to lean in there to go for the ball. She takes her time, so Berger waits for the contact, goes up through it, finishes and one. I mean, that's just the veteran savvy that she brings to the floor.
Grace Berger up to 11 points now and 5 assists. Make it 12. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Lau finds Jillian Brown.
The minutes she can give down low. A really tough player, not afraid to be aggressive defensively.
Wood misses both. Their zone trying to drown the clock. About 20 left in the game. 12 on the shot clock. Scalia over to Berger. Berger gets the screen from Brown. She'll go up for the jumper off the mark. Rebounded by McWilliams. Caroline Lau has about 7 seconds to get something going. Jillian Brown will try for 3. Rolls out.
But they just haven't been able to get over the hump and get back into this one, really making Indiana sweat and work.
So at the end of the third quarter, Indiana still ahead, 56-42, and it's pretty clear that when they throw Grace Berger back in that lineup, players got some hands on it, Wood able to re-get it. 3 seconds for Caroline Lau. She loses the ball. Sydney Parrish pushing in transition. It's just her and Lau. Spin move behind.
She fits together as a puzzle piece so well with them. That inside-out game with Holmes, Berger's passing ability.
Somewhat of a similar role that she saw in Oregon.
The Wildcats, I mean, you look at that 6-8 record, they're 0-8 against top 100 teams, and they're about to be 0-9. They have not shown the ability to upset good teams or to even just beat teams that are as good as them.
First personal foul of the day. She's played 25 minutes.
Very rare, no foul, no turnover game for a player who's played over 30 minutes.
Over to Moore McNeil. She's got 7. Berger moving in, puts it up. Foul was called though. Berger nails the first. You look at some of the turnovers and the free throw shooting that really are making the difference, and that's why the Cats are down now still by 16 as that one rolled out.
Yeah, and it's a rare all-shooting night from Indiana. I mentioned they're a 35% three-point shooting team. Is what a pass down low to Holmes. But they're down at 19% so far today, and Northwestern just hasn't been able to capitalize.
Indiana, struggling a bit shooting-wise, but they still find moments like that. That Berger-Holmes high-low connection is so good, and they can find it consistently. Meanwhile, Northwestern, another turnover. You're looking at the stats right now. Mackenzie Holmes, 24 points, leads all scorers. The highest number of points for Northwestern is Jasmine McWilliams with 10.
Second straight double-digit scoring game for Jasmine McWilliams, the first 2 of her career. Very impressive in what has been a tough effort for Northwestern offensively as a whole.
Grace Berger goes up and in. That's her shot, even when contested.
Absolutely. A very smooth 15 from Berger. Classic Grace Berger performance.
Northwestern hasn't made a field goal in quite some time. Kayla Rainey can't change that there.
Northwestern has had some droughts this season. This one is starting to get up there.
Parrish.
And right now, they've scored just 2 points Northwestern has in the last 5.5 minutes.
Northwestern had a really tough non-con schedule, facing off against Oregon, Notre Dame, DePaul, Duke, Courtney Shaw, and one.
But it just hasn't seemed like they've been in any of these games except down the stretch against Illinois and maybe for moments in the second half against Michigan.
20 points is the Indiana lead right now. Scalia to the basket. Foul.
Their starting lineup is entirely made up of upperclassmen. Some sort of lineup change, or those upperclassmen have got to start making it work a little bit better than they have. And it just hasn't mattered.
They've got girls who can shoot from 3. Kaylee Walsh off the mark.
Really haven't had a lot of contested threes. Mormon Hill was looking out at Bargesser like, I was wide open.
Parrish into Holmes. Holmes back out to Scalia. Now Moore McNeil. She'll go up. gets the 2, and 2 new players going to check in. It looks like it'll be Mercy Adamasayo for Northwestern. They're going to start going to the bench. Wood for 2.
Indiana's going to go to Meister, along with another new entrant over there.
I think it'll be Sanvik, if I saw the number correctly. So 2 first years. Walsh gets both, dribbling this one out. She'll put up one last shot. Won't go. Meister with the putback, and it's good. Indiana with the last second bucket to take a 22-point lead. Lau heaves it up, and that's the game. 72-50, Indiana.